We are more exposed to the world than we were ever before. Students, they are so exposed to everything that they seem to know a lot of things that's happening. So if they are exposed to more things and they are seeing all this noise, all this information, where's the focus? How are they gonna stay focused? It becomes harder.
Green stuff and then you throw flat. Green, like, yeah, that's you, yeah.
Do you want to get on with the work?
So they're talking to me. They were just sitting there. Some were just sitting there.
Do you want me to get you a croissant and a hot chocolate as well? Whilst you're talking, give me something.
So you got meals.
No, you guys are looking like you're having a good time. I can get some hot chocolate.
You get McDonald's breakfast.
There's a saying, an idle mind is the devil's playground. When you're not doing anything and you start getting bored, that is when all the negative thoughts come. That's when things are dangerous. So you want to keep your mind busy. You want to have a purpose. You can still be fulfilled by not making a lot of money. Money is just a tool for you to buy your freedom. But then after a certain amount of time or a certain amount of money, you don't need it. Like, you don't need so much, right?
Basically means you're indirectly telling me there should be an exam question for June, something similar.
Indirectly, we're telling you that it's too difficult for us to manage.
But what's difficult is what I love,
But that is not what we know.
which is exactly what I love.
There's a lot of pressure, revision, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of anxiety. For me, when they come here, I try and take the pressure away from what is happening in the real world. So I can also feel like even today's class, there's a bit of that air of nervousness. Everyone's quiet a bit more than usual. But you know what, man, like, this is life, this happens, and this is part of it. You go in seasons, and there's gonna be seasons where you have to focus and you stay sharp. And it's good because if you don't have those seasons in your life, life gets very boring.
Good morning, guys. It is currently Saturday, 6:30 in the morning, and getting ready for classes. A bit more chilly today. Sun's not come out as strong as before, but hey, still a good scene to look at every now and then. And it's also getting brighter now as well, so that's nice. So I think by 5:30, you're pretty much good. Man, I wish it could just stay like this all the time, but yeah. For breakfast, we are having watermelon, 2 eggs, cheddar cheese, and pomegranate. And actually, I might get a banana there as well, and an apple on the way, and get my hot chocolate. But yeah, this is going to be nice and refreshing, because obviously I'm going to have a whole day of classes as well. So this is what I normally get. And what I do, I don't know if I said this in the previous video, but I actually put salt on the watermelon. If you haven't tried it, try it out. I thought it would be a bit ugh, but I don't know, because I put salt on the egg, and so there was some salt on the watermelon from the egg, and then when I ate that, it actually tasted good. So I thought, you know what, let me just try and put a bit more salt on the watermelon, and I really like the combination. It's actually really refreshing. So I don't know if anyone else does that, but if you haven't, try it out and let me know. But it's actually really nice. So yeah, I'm gonna absolutely destroy this and then get ready for class.
Take your glasses off, it's not IG play.
Can't see without it.
You can't see?
No.
Oh, then come right at the front here. And then question move there.
Oh, yeah.
Take it off.
0.58 and then equals 0.38.
Yes.
Let's go!
Okay, fine. I mean, I guess when you copy someone else, it's...
I did not copy Snake.
So why did you look at Sienna straight away when I said...
Snake.
Okay, so she said snake means it's the truth, isn't it?
No, she didn't send me no answers.
So why are you calling her a snake then?
No, of course someone a snake when they would do something.
That's not the definition of a snake.
Snake means when they like snitch on you. And then also when
So
they
why
do
would it,
things-
okay, why would it switch on you then?
No, he snaked because I asked him for the homework, he said no.
So there you go. You asked for the homework. You just baited yourself out. Oh my days.
Currently Sunday today, it's the morning. We have a class at 8:30, and this will be the year 13 mechanics class. We are really getting close to the exam, so we're just doing a lot of exam questions, a lot of practice, just again and again and again, so that they can get accustomed to all kinds of questions that could potentially come. Yeah, mechanics normally in second year is a lot harder. It's a lot more in depth compared to the first year stuff. But again, and this is the difference between understanding something and trying to memorize something, because when you memorize something, you'll forget it the next day. But when you understand something, you will remember it for far, far longer. So that's another thing as well that I always kind of say to the students, is that don't try and memorize something, try and understand what you're learning, even just in life, understand what you are applying, because once you understand it, it's ingrained in your mind. So got a hot chocolate. This time it's a large one. Didn't know that they do large ones at McDonald's, so that's good. And yeah, we've got quite a few classes today again, as usual, nothing's changed. And then I will send out a message to the parents. So I do something on a weekly basis. Well, not a weekly basis, probably like once a month. I used to do it on a weekly basis, but now I try and do like once a month. It's kind of like a Sunday Shorts where I send them a message, a WhatsApp message in a group that we have, where I just give them my certain advice, tips, things that I've seen or analyzed when I'm teaching the students, and just things in life that I give them, like short tips. It's really like, it's like a 3-minute read. And I normally write that, you know, and send it to them once a month, every Sunday. I call it Sunday Shorts. It might sound cheesy, but hey, I don't care. So we'll be sending that to them as well. And it's very helpful for them because the way I write it, it's more for the parents, but also could be applied. The parents could use that for their own child as well. So it's really benefiting both sides. So that will be done as well. And then we're going to be uploading the vlog today. This is which one is this vlog on? Oh, what I eat. So kind of like my diet that allows me to teach for long periods of time without having breaks. So that should be going up today. So by the time you watch this, it should be up already. And yeah, man, good. We're gonna get this started. And yeah, it is a bit colder today. See, the thing about the weather, man, it just changes. It goes like, I think Thursday and Wednesday was nice and warm, not too hot, and then literally like Friday, Saturday, it just went chilly and windy. So I think a lot of people get ill as well is because the weather just changes so drastically, so the body doesn't get time to adapt. And I think that's why there's a lot of flu going around at the moment, and I think it's also hay fever season. So yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna get ready, start the class, and I'll keep you guys in the loop.
So what we're gonna do today?
We will do a topic.
Chill out. Okay, fine, say no more.
Aaron,
Yeah?
stop saying say no more as if you're some bad girl on the street or saying say no more. Say mom, say dad.
He said say no more.
No, man.
He hasn't got braces.
I said you have those ventures that you have to put in water overnight. Ventures.
So how old are you? How old
26.
are you?
I would say write all of that in one line, then expand the brackets.
So this
Why do you write lambda?
It's meant to be an X.
That's an X.
Yeah.
That's an X.
Yes.
Man, what is that?
Say X. It's
So,
an X.
that's not an X, that's an
Yeah, but if
lambda.
I read it, it looks like an X.
Let's ask your best friend. Mr. Aaron, what does this look like?
This.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
T.
It looks like a T.
Oh my god. It's meant to be an X.
Okay, so we just finished class and it's currently, just nearly 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And we've done, essentially, it's obviously, if you don't know, it's exam season at the moment. So just quickly show you what we've done. This is for the year 11s. These are the questions we're doing at the moment. Just a bit of mixed revision, exam questions. And then sometimes I just add a bit of my questions as well in it, just to kind of get more practice in, I guess. So yeah, it's a bit of a stressful period at the moment for the students and parents as well, because obviously there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of revision, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of anxiety, and I understand it. It's not an easy place to be in. So what I tend to do with the students is for me, when they come here, I try and take the pressure away from what is happening in the real world, because it will add more to their plate and it's not needed. So I try and remove that. And the way I do that essentially is just keep the classes lively, keep it off topic. We just keep focused and keep doing the work. Remind them, but you don't need to remind them in a way that's going to bring them down. So I can also feel like even today's class, there's a bit of that air of nervousness. Everyone's quiet a bit more than usual because I think it's starting to get to them. But you know what, man, like this is life, this happens, and this is part of it. You go in seasons, and there's going to be seasons where you have to focus and you stay sharp. And it's good because if you don't have those seasons in your life gets very boring. And this goes with anything in life. If you have a job interview, if you're applying for something, if you have a test, an exam, driving test, whatever it is, there's gonna be times where you just stay focused and nerves is gonna kick in. But it's also about how you manage those nerves and how you are able to perform under that pressure. Because it's one thing you preparing for, in the sense that, okay, you're doing all this work, you're doing all this preparation, you're doing all these interview questions. But when you're in it, you need to be able to deal with this, because that's 95% of the work is in here. And then the 5% is what you did the preparation for, if that makes sense, right? Because if in the moment your mental state takes over, everything that you prepared for goes out the window, regardless of how much preparation you've done. So you've also got to be able to know how to manage this. And that takes time, and it takes mental practice as well to just kind of change that mindset, change the state that you're in. And everyone's different. So I'm not going to be like saying just because it works for certain people, it's going to work for everyone. Absolutely not. But you know, this is just the season that we're in, and we're going to make it work. We're going to make sure that everyone gets the grades, and I'm still going to be here no matter what for them.
Wait for him to get home, then call him mum.
Mum was scared.
Mum,
No, before my mum left, she's like, oh god, this guy.
Is that what she said?
Yes.
Well, I'm glad that the camera picked this up because when we make this into a short clip, I'm going to send this to your mom. And then we'll see what your mom's got to say about that.
So have you been shot?
Yes. Real.
Where?
Teaser.
That sounds good. So I was doing top secret work.
I was working for the intelligence department.
When did I say that?
No, I was standing.
You're not sad. He said we're just sitting there.
Someone just sitting there.
Do you want me to get you a croissant and a hot chocolate as well? Whilst you're talking, I can give you some.
So you got meals.
No, you guys are looking like you're having a good time. I can get some hot chocolate
You
as
get
well.
McDonald's breakfast.
The revision masterclass went very well during the Easter break. We had 3 revision masterclass, year 11s, year 12s, and year 13s. I was drained. It was so much, it was like a lot to give. But you know what? Those are the best ones because when you're tired from doing work and you go back home and you feel like, oh my gosh, I need to relax, it's the best ones as opposed to, you know, you not feeling tired and you feeling like you haven't got anything done or you haven't had any, you know, you haven't put your body and your mind through certain challenges and certain excursions, if I may say. Even though it was tiring, even though I was drained, I would still do it again. There's a sense of purpose, you know, when you're doing something and you know what you're doing and what you want to achieve. In this case, it's for me to teach these students and get the grades, going through the exam questions and preparing them 4.5 hours non-stop. You're exhausted. You know you've done a good job. You know you've done well. And at least when you go back home and you sit down or you eat, you feel good about yourself. So to these people that say about, I want to retire early, I want to go by the beach and relax. Let me tell you something. You are going to get very, very bored because there's only so much of staying by the beach and drinking a tequila is going to do to you. Eventually, you will get bored. There's a saying, an idle mind is a devil's playground. When you're not doing anything and you start getting bored, that is when all the negative thoughts come. That is when all these thoughts that you never thought would come starts coming out of nowhere. And then you start thinking about things and you get anxious and, you know, that's when things are dangerous. So you want to keep your mind busy. You want to have a purpose. You want to have, and that purpose could be anything. It doesn't have to, because I think a lot of people think about having purpose about in the sense that, oh, my purpose is to make a lot of money. It's like, no, not really. It doesn't have to be that. You can still be fulfilled by not making a lot of money. Money is just a tool for you to buy your freedom. But then after a certain amount of time or a certain amount of money, you don't need it. Like, you don't need so much, right? So I'm not saying that money is bad. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that if your goal is just to purely make money and you think that that's going to make you fulfilled and happy, you will be disappointed. You will be disappointed. It's more about, okay, what is your purpose? And then following through. And then going for it, and then, you know, trying to go on that path of purpose and tackling it every single day and just going at it again and again. That is what's going to bring you more fulfillment. It's that path, the path that you're walking, that you're going to enjoy more. As they say, right? It's a journey. The journey, as you're walking through the journey, you're experiencing all these things. That's the thing that you're going to look back on, not the destination, not the end, or, oh, I made £1 million, or I made £5 million. Or that's not going to bring you any fulfillment. That's not going to make you as happy as you think you are. Because once you reach that goal, let me tell you, once you reach that, you're not going to feel anything. And you might think, no, you're wrong. I'll try it. Do it and you'll see for yourself. But the journey, the actual journey of doing it every day, taking that one step at a time, it's very underrated. It's very underrated. So kind of went off a bit of tangent. So I'm going to finish off now for today anyway. And yeah, then I wanted to speak about something tomorrow, but I might put this in this vlog as well, actually, because I think it's important. It was a discussion that me and my friend were talking about, and I thought it was quite interesting, and I wanted to share that with you and see what you guys think as well about it.
He's literally been drinking that drink for like 6 months.
Yeah, but what is it now? It's different flavour.
Acai berry, beetroot, spinach, kale.
Kill that with like green stuff and then you put like
It's
fry
like
it.
seaweed.
Yeah, that seaweed.
Do you want to get on with the work?
So they're talking to me.
So can you eat a sea cucumber?
What? You don't square it, you put F into F.
That's what I did.
No, you're saying square. It's not square. F squared X means F of X.
Excuse me?
Fx. You put F into the F function.
It's really not.
Basically means you're indirectly telling me there should be an exam question for June, something similar.
Indirectly, we're telling you that it's too difficult for us to manage with.
But what's difficult is what I love,
But that is not what we know.
which is exactly what I love. It. Because you don't love it, which makes in turn me love it even more.
Okay, so I wanted to share this. This was something that, you know, me and my friend were talking about, and I think it could be very insightful, and I did say that I was going to mention this in yesterday's vlog, so I'm going to talk about it here. I'm not going to go so much in detail, but just kind of give the high level view of what we discussed. And it was that obviously I'm teaching students from year 7 all the way up to A levels, and I had a conversation with my friend. It was just a very general conversation, and I was just saying to him that, man, these students at this age, they know so much already. And if I look at myself when I was their age, I would not have known or even talked in the way that they are talking right now. And I was just saying to him, like, man, they are smarter. They seem to just know more than what we used to know when we were their age. And as I was discussing this with my friend and just sharing my observation, he stopped me and he said, Vidush, it's not that they are smart, it's that they are more exposed. It's interesting that, isn't it? It's not that they are smarter than us, it's that they are more exposed to the world. I had to take a step back and think about what he said, because for me, I thought that, okay, wow, they just know a lot more stuff, they're just a lot more, switched on. But then when my friend said it in that way, I was like, you know what, you've got a point. It's actually true. If we're looking at this generation now, and even the younger generation, we are, I say we now, collectively, but we are more exposed to the world than we were ever before. You have your phone. On the phone, you have all these social media platforms that you can see any type of videos that is happening around the world. Whereas before, we didn't even have internet, let alone a phone. So we were only exposed to our community, our school, or the borough, or the location that we were in. We didn't really know much about what was going on except the news. But now these kids, as students, they are so exposed to everything that they seem to know a lot of things that's happening. And then we went even further in the discussion in that, okay, so if they are exposed to more things and they are seeing all this noise, all this information, where's the focus? How are they going to stay focused? It becomes harder. Because you see, the way I look at things is this, right? Is that whether you're going in a career, whether you're starting a business, whether you're doing something, what I've kind of noticed with people now is they don't have the patience, because they're looking for the next big thing. So they'll do something for maybe 6 months, a year, and if it doesn't work, they're going to move to something else, which means that they're not going to be masters of their craft, because they just want quick results. So when me and my friend were discussing this, and we were saying that, actually, you know what, you are right. And I'm not disregarding or being disrespectful to saying that the generation of students now and the young generation are stupid, but what we were discussing and saying is that they are more exposed to things. And if they are more exposed to things and they're seeing all this information, in their head, they're thinking that they know a lot more than actually they've experienced. So what's happening now is that they are seeing all this information, but they haven't gone out in the real world and experienced things. That's the difference. A lot of my life has been through experience. It's not been watching other people and just kind of listening and learning, taking the information in and doing nothing with it. I've gone out there in the real world and experienced shit. And that's how I've gained my experience and my perspective of life. People now, because they expose it, like I had another student the other day, he had this, on his computer, he had a trading thing, right? And this is not to disregard him or anything at all, nothing like that. But it's like their mindset, okay, I'm gonna do trading, but it's like, hold up, have you had any experience in that? Have you actually gone and done something substantial in it? You're probably seeing what other people are doing on the internet, because they're probably saying, hey, this is how you can make quick money, and they're just following that, thinking that that's the way, but it is not. So what's happening is you have an imbalance of, you're getting exposed to so much noise and information, and you're drinking that, thinking that you're knowing it all, or you're, okay, I'm learning. But the imbalance becomes that you're not going out in the real world and actually gaining the real world experience, because you're just there sitting in your computer, listening to what these idiots are saying, right? I call them idiots because a lot of them is just them selling something, right? But you as a person are not really out there in the road and experiencing things. It was a very interesting conversation. And then it kind of switched my perspective in that now people are just more exposed to a lot of things, and even adults, parents even now as well, right? A lot of them on their phone. It's funny because my parents, they were saying to me, oh, stop using your phone. It's not good for you. Now they're using it. Like, my mom, I guess, right? She uses it more. And I can see all my family members on their phone more, right? It's that now information is so easily accessible, and people tend to mistake that because they have this information that they know it, or they know this field, they know this knowledge, but they haven't gone out there in the real world experiencing it. And now because they're not patient enough to see it through, like years of working and staying committed to the craft, they're going to keep bouncing from one thing to the other. And because they keep bouncing from one thing to the other, they're not giving enough substantial time for the craft, which means that they're never going to succeed in what they want to succeed. They keep moving from one thing to the other. Like for something to work, something to really build up, it takes years. It doesn't take months. It doesn't take days. It doesn't take 1 year. It takes years. A great analogy of this is the bamboo tree, right? When you plant the bamboo tree in the soil, for the first, I think 4 years or 4.5 years, nothing grows. And then I think after 150, or is it 30 to 150 days, quote me, I might be wrong here, but after a certain number of days, it shoots up really high. But that's after 4 years of constantly watering it every single day. And every single day you see nothing. But that is, as in essence, what life is. Especially when you're committed to something, you're not going to see anything at the beginning. But the beautiful thing about compounding or compound interest from a mathematical perspective is that eventually it will just skyrocket. But the initial stages, the first 4, 5, 6, 7, even 10 years, you're going to see nothing. And you'll see very little growth. But if you stay committed, you still adapt, you change, you keep changing things, you keep working at it, eventually it will come. People are not really patient enough to see that, which basically means that the ones who are committed in the decades, in the 5, 10 years, 15, 20 years on their craft, they will destroy most people in the long run because they're not going after the quick short fix, the quick money. They're going after the long-term wealth, the long-term sustainability and the commitment to the craft. Yeah, man, we were talking about this and it just gave me a very different perspective of it, and I thought I would share this with you because if you are watching a lot of things online and you think that you're learning something but you're not going out in the real world and experiencing things, you're delusional. Yeah, I might sound harsh, but it's just the reality of things. Experience is everything. It trumps just watching or reading things. You have to go out in the world and experience it. So just because you are exposed to the information doesn't mean you know it, doesn't mean that you're onto something. It's what you do with it, and it's what you go out, it's literally what you do with it. Action, practical steps. So I thought I would share that. I like to reflect, I like to analyze, I like to think about things from different dimensions, and it's just my personality. So yeah, thought I would share that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get ready for the next class now. And yeah, if you have any thoughts or any comments about this stuff, feel free to put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk, share some insights, and it would be nice to have a conversation going if you are interested. But if not, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.